Once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out to the basketball tip-off luncheon. We really appreciate your support of Nicholls Athletics and in turn, Nicholls men's and women's basketball. I'd also like to thank DoBee for being gracious host today, for having us here, for having wonderful food. We'd also like to thank the Hampton Inn, lodging partner of Nicholls Athletics. So with that, in turn, the first person I'd like to invite to the podium has doubled her win total every year since she's been a colonel, since becoming a colonel in 2008. In 2010, she helped guide the colonels to their highest win total since 2005, and in doing such, also coached the Louisiana and Southland Conference Freshman of the Year, KK Babin. From last year's squad, she has 7 players returning, 6 of them were letter winners. As well as her coaching duties, she also serves as our senior women's administrator. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of your Nicholls women's basketball team, DoBee Plaisance.
Thank you, Clyde. I really do appreciate everyone being here today. I'm always excited to greet all of our supporters and everything. When season ended last year in March, could not wait till November. Very excited about the recruiting class we had last year. As Clyde mentioned, we have literally half our team. They're what I like to term as newbies. They're coming in, and coupled with our returners, I can't be any more excited about the outlook we have this year. When you attend the games this year, you're going to see a little bit different look in terms of we're going to be playing a much more up-tempo game. We will be able to do that if the Lord keeps us healthy. We do have numbers this year, and we have depth. And one of the biggest acquisitions I think we made over the summer was we have somebody over 5'10". So I'm very, very excited about that. We will actually have a post present, and like I told Teddy earlier, Teddy that can catch the ball too. We're really good. So in terms of the up-tempo game and that post presence, it's really going to take a lot of pressure off our perimeter. Teams in the past since I've been here has been able to really put a lot of pressure on the perimeter and sort of force that post presence that we really wasn't as blessed enough to have. But we're going to have that this year, and that's going to really open up our game in terms of what we're going to be able to do on the perimeter. We're not running a, quote, read and react offense. We do run within a system, and we do run sets. However, we're really emphasizing to our players to make plays. We're allowing them to make reads and different things like that. For 2 things. First of all, our staff really believes that we're talented enough to do those kind of things. And secondly, I'm not big on scouting, and I want us to be a hard team to scout. We already run the matchup zone that always drives people crazy. But with that type of ability to read and react, I'm really excited about it. As mentioned earlier, we have with us KK Babin, who's our returning all-conference player. She was also named the Louisiana Freshman Player of the Year, as well as the Southland Conference Player of the Year. And we were very proud to say internally she was named the Nicholls State Female Athlete of the Year. We have Leanne McCarthy, who is also a sophomore. KK comes to us from St. Michael's in Baton Rouge, out of Gonzales, Louisiana. Leanne McCarthy, she comes to us from Ursuline Academy out of New Orleans. Leanne is going to put us some big numbers this year, rebounding too, right? We're going to block out good. Leanne was plagued with a little bit of an injury bug in the middle of the year last year that sort of hurt her numbers, but we're very excited about especially our core, some of our core being our younger players. Not present right now, we have Justin Payne, who is very popular amongst all of you, formerly played for Coach Piper on the men's side. Justin came in, we had practice this morning at 6:30 a.m., and as soon as we were through with practice, he was in his car headed to North Louisiana doing some recruiting for us, so we're very excited about the job he's doing. And now I'd like to call up Catherine. No, I'm just joking. We have Catherine Blanchard here, our other assistant. Catherine Blanchard prepped at E.D. White, played for me over at Loyola, and I've said this so many times, and I'll repeat it as much as I can, that I am so very blessed to have one of the hardest working staffs in the country. They're very dedicated, not only to the players and the team, but they're very dedicated to Nicholls State as a whole, and I couldn't do it without those two. But without further ado, I'd like to open it up for any kind of questions you might have about the team, about the season outlook. I'm very excited about our non-conference schedule. As usual, it's competitive. We open up against Alabama in Tuscaloosa, so I'm very excited about that. We play some very competitive Sun Belt teams in North Texas, Arkansas, Little Rock, and UL. And we're actually going to be going out to Oregon at Thanksgiving, and we're going to be playing Oregon, and Oregon State and a couple of other teams. So I'm very, very excited about our non-conference schedule, that I feel like the balance of it all will have us very ready for conference, which in my mind we have 3 seasons. We have non-conference, conference, and postseason. And the postseason has sort of been a little elusive. Well, not sort of, it has been elusive since I've been here for 3 years. But I'm very committed to getting this team to the postseason, not only to the Southland Conference, but as I mentioned to Teddy earlier, don't be surprised if we go further than the Southland Conference tournament, because that's what I expect out of this team, these women. They work very, very hard. They work extremely hard in the off season, during summer school. They made gains in the weight room. They've made gains. We're in better shape right now than sort of what we finished last year. And that's in fact, at practice this morning, our worst practices last week, which we had a couple of bad practice, was considered maybe a good practice last year. So that's just a testament to how hard my staff is working, and that's a testament to these players, how hard they're working, and the chemistry and everything about this team I couldn't be any more excited about. And they won't let you down this season. I look forward to seeing you at the games and everything. And any questions for me?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Non-conference games at the beginning of the season, I think one includes a game against UL.
Yes, sir.
And the other one besides UL, that's kind of close.
Kind of close. We have UL. No, we play UL Monroe. We also play Monroe. But we open up against Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and then we come back to play UL, which I'm very, very excited about that. Go ahead. We also play at Homa. We play a doubleheader with the men. The men will play Loyola University, and we'll be playing Florida A&M in a doubleheader in Homa. So that's another close one outside of Thibodeau. But we do have a nice home slate teams coming in and everything like that. Our schedule has been a little bit messed up this year. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball in terms of teams dropping and everything, but I think that's only a testament because we're getting better. So I'll take that. Was there another question? I saw another hand.
I had one, but you asked about the home game.
Right.
We'll talk a little bit about that. What do you expect at home, and how can we pack that place?
Well, you can pack the place simply by getting the word out, getting them to show up and everything. In terms of this team, I am telling you, if you get people to come to one of our first few games, they will come back, and you won't have to make a phone call, because this team is going to be that exciting to watch. Offensively, we have a package offensively. It's going to be our ability to make stops. And like I'd mentioned before, we run this matchup zone that people are aware of, but they're really not. They think they know what we're doing, but sometimes we don't know what we're doing. So it's a nice little combination out there. But you're going to enjoy watching this team play. The enthusiasm, the energy, the chemistry out there, you're going to see it. We have, in my opinion, some big-time players that can make some big-time plays. Now, we won't be dunking the ball like the men, but we're working on it. Maybe by next year we might be dunking it. I don't know. But anyway, I'm very excited about our home schedule, and I look to, just put a good product on the floor. Yes?
Who do you see as the class of the conference, and who is the good revenge game of the year?
Pardon me, who in the conference?
Who do you see as the class of the conference this year on the women's side, and who's going to be the good revenge game?
Well, watch how I'm going to answer this question. I'm going to answer this question based on how you asked the question. Who do you think the class of the conference is? I believe it's Nicholls State University, if you ask me. But I know the intent of the question. I really think we're going to have Lamar. Larry Tidwell does an excellent job out there at Lamar. Matt Daniel at University of Central Arkansas, he does an excellent job on the women's side. And I'm drawing a blank on the new coach's name from Stephen F. Austin, but he was hired last year. Those 3 schools, in my opinion, can match our recruiting class and the people that come back. And so those, in my opinion, are the 3 schools that we really have to look out for in terms of what they have coming back. And I think they had some very, very strong recruiting classes. And I have the utmost respect for those 3 men in terms of their ability to coach and make adjustments. But the class of the conference will be Nicholls State.
What's the game you're most looking forward to?
Non-conference or conference? Non-conference, I want to say UL at UL. I'm very excited about that matchup. We played them in a scrimmage last year, which obviously no one could attend, nor we can advertise it. But we won by 17. Can't keep score, but we did our own little thing on the sidelines. And in the conference game, I want to sweep McNeese. That's enough said right there. Anybody knows me knows. Notice I said sweep, okay? Want to sweep them. Okay, did you have a question?
No, I was gonna comment on his rival game. He did.
Oh, okay. Did I get it?
You got that.
Okay, I got it, yeah. We're gonna sweep McNeese. If not, I might have to be swept off the floor because I'd pass out. Good questions. Any other questions? All right then, with that, I can't thank you enough. Look forward to seeing you this season, and God bless you all.
Wow, women can light up a room, can't you? It's unbelievable. Yeah, thank you, Coach. We really appreciate it. And just as she was going off with the non-conference schedule for both the women and the men, both teams do some of the best jobs in recruiting some of the hardest opponents to play to get their teams ready for the conference schedule. Just as with the women with FAMU, Oregon, the men will be playing North Carolina, which is the #1 team in the country, but the polls came out last week. So you're playing the #1 team in the country, North Carolina, the University of Texas, Auburn University, the SEC, and of course, as always, starting the season off in 2 weeks against LSU. So with that, next up is a coach who is in a very elite company among coaches here at Nicholls. After finishing last year with a second winning season in the last 3 years, this coach has led the Colonels men's basketball team to 4 consecutive double-digit win seasons. The only other coaches to do so were Ricky Broussard and Don Landry, and each had 12 years. Excuse me. In 2011, he guided the Colonels to a 3rd straight appearance in the Southern Conference Tournament, and it is the 3rd time in Colonel history that the team has made at least 3 consecutive appearances in the tournament since joining the league in basketball. During that time, the team benefited from the play of departed guard Anatoly Bodas, who finished last year as the 3rd leading scorer in Nicholls history, was named first team all-conference, and was named the Louisiana Basketball Player of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of your Nicholls men's basketball team, J.D. Piper.
Thank you, Clyde. I didn't know that about being in that rare company with Coach Broussard and Coach Landry. That's good to know. Before I get started, I usually get up here, I get so excited talking about our guys, I forget to recognize my staff. So I made a note today to do that first, so I won't forget these guys. And like Coach Plaisance said, what we have to do on a day-to-day basis is sometimes overwhelming, and these guys get it done every day without fail. And it's such an incredible security blanket to know that we have them taking care of all the details, and it lets the head coach focus on the vision and trying to direct the program without having to get caught up in the day-to-day details. So first we'll start with Coach Rennie Bailey. Played at Louisiana Tech in his 2nd stint at Nicholls State, and has just been an unbelievable influence in our program. Our guys love him. I love having him around, and he's been a tremendous asset. We're very blessed to have him. Next, we have Terry Parker, who comes to us from Louisiana Tech as well, originally from Atlanta. He is a Falcons fan, but I don't hold that against him. But Terry's doing a tremendous job, young coach, just getting started in the business, enthusiastic, eager. Again, our players love to be around him. Great camaraderie in the office. And our guys seek him out, and that's always a positive when your players are wanting to come hang around your staff. And then last, Coach Mike Zeppel played for me, has an unbelievable understanding for what I'm trying to communicate to our team. Very much like Terry, he's young and close in age to our guys, so they identify well with him, and they gravitate toward him and like to spend time with him and hang around and learn. And all 3 of these guys are great teachers and great people, and very, very blessed to have them. So thank you, guys. Talk a little bit about our team. We have a couple of guys with us today. First, I want to mention Ben Martin. He's a local product. He's a senior this year in our program. Played at E.D. White High School. Had a great high school career there. Has had an interesting journey here at Nicholls. Came out, decided he didn't want to play, left for a year, decided he wanted to come back. I think the fact that I let him come back speaks to who he is as a person, because I've never done that before and probably won't ever do it again. But usually when guys leave, that door's closed. Ben is such a phenomenal young man that we wanted him back around our program. Weren't sure where he would be as a player, but knew who he was as a person. So Thrilled to have him in the program. He is a captain elected by his teammates. He and Brian Hammond, who's not with us today, but again, a tremendous honor for Ben to be elected captain by his teammates, and his leadership is evident in our program on a daily basis. We also brought with us today Pedro Maciel. Pedro is originally from Brazil by way of Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. Played at St. Stanislaus High School for a good friend of mine. Pedro is very well prepared for what we need him to do here at Nicholls. He's a junior college transfer, and like I said about Ben, it speaks a lot to his character because I don't like to recruit JUCO kids. Pedro's an exception. We tried to get him out of high school. I don't know what he was thinking, but he didn't come. But we got him here now. We're thrilled to have him. He's going to be a great leader for us on the floor. We expect him to work himself into our starting point guard position and run our team for us and help Ben lead because he's been through a couple of years at this level and understand what it takes to win, and has an affectionate personality. Guys gravitate toward him. He's always talking, teaching, but doesn't aggravate his teammates. He has a way about him that makes guys want to listen to him and work for him. So we're thrilled to have him with us as well. Moving on through the rest of the team, I'll confess it was a little scary the first few days of practice. No Fred, no Tolley out on the floor. But it's also an exciting challenge. We've got some really talented young guys in the program, and we have a ways to go. We've got to grow them up, but they're working extremely hard. I want to talk to you about a few of those guys who I think you'll see their names in the headlines. First is Dantrell Thomas. He kind of broke onto the scene last year, particularly after Fred went down. He's got an ability to score the basketball. He's our strongest player on the team. He can physically overpower the opponent. He doesn't quite understand yet how to play hard all the time, but we're pushing him to do that. He doesn't understand that he's capable of dominating the game, and that's really where we're having to try to grow him up as a player, because if he doesn't want to be stopped, he can't be. He just doesn't understand that yet. He was kind of the highlight guy last year. He was the one that would get dunks on breakaways and come out of nowhere and block a shot at the rim. And we want to see more of that out of Dantrell this year. He has the ability to do that. The next guy that's worth mentioning, actually they're all worth mentioning, but I'm not going to go through all of them with you. The next guy I think that'll make a splash is Sam McBeath. When you walk in the gym, if you're not careful and you just kind of glance, he'll look just like Tolley. He's got kind of a moppy haircut, and he's built the same way. He's about 6'7", slender, but we think he's going to be better than Tolley. And I know that's a mouthful, but he comes to us a little bit older. He's a 21-year-old freshman, which is a long story to explain how that happened, but we got him. And he's a little more athletic than Bose, and he's more skilled in terms of his ability as a freshman than Bose was as a freshman. I'm not saying he's better today than Bose was last season, but when you look back to what Tolley